And a great big hey howdy hey to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic Commentaries with Comic Ozzy.
E-F. Or D-F, I should say. Buenas noches.
Yes, good evening everybody, because we are going to be watching the Book of Life. Honey, what are your, when was the first time you saw this movie?
So I got the DVD when I was shopping at the mall with my not roommate then, friend, later roommate. And we agreed to, and she had also gotten a DVD, and we agreed to watch our movies together. And we invited like my roommate and then like one other friend to watch, and neither of us had watched it before, but we all had the time of our lives with it. And yeah, it was fun. Romantic, great animation.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like things I'd been missing from animated movies for a very long time.
Too true. And what's really, some people will be able to give me the fella's name in the chat, but the guy behind this animated feature, not Guillermo del Toro, but the man responsible for the artistic aesthetic, the creator of a Cartoon Network show, Nickelodeon show, El Tigre. But he did work with Cartoon Network because you can also recognize his art style from some vignettes in the middle of Mad TV when Cartoon Network did a animated version of that series. Jorge Gutierrez? Did I pronounce that correctly? What year did this movie come out? Like, how come I don't know this? I have
10 years ago, honey.
10 years ago to the, really? 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. Then let's, export that in.
Way before Coco.
Way before Coco. That is
just
true.
pointing that out.
Some people have also, compared this movie to Coco a lot. Which
I mean, the trailers almost look the same.
Is only slightly fair, because how different can you make the Day of the Dead look? Even the Land of the Remembered, because
it wasn't just the fact that it was the Day of the Dead. It was also that it starred a guitarist who wants to be a guy who wants to be a musician. His family won't let him, and then he ends up being in the Land of the Dead, and he gets help from his dead ancestors. And you see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, that'd be.
It could have been any plot other than a guy wanting to be a musician, but his grown up family won't let him.
I don't know, man. I feel like that is a little too nebulous. There's a lot of stories with that general. Will disappoint the family because he wants to be a musician, but the family won't let him. Like that. I feel like that was also part of the plot of a movie called Rock Dog. If anyone's heard of that, we'll probably cover that at some point. Because I've never seen it, but it looks interesting. But we're not watching Rock Dog tonight. We're watching the Book of Life, and so everyone get set for synchronization. Ay-ya-ya! Dun 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 dun. Mariachi. Dun 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 dun. Actually. No, there is a mariachi band in this movie. Actually, that's a connection between this and Hotel Transylvania. There's a mariachi band. Anyone else notice that? Anyone else notice? No? Anyway, but absolutely, is it bad that I saw Coco first? Absolutely not. And actually, we'll be covering Coco next week, spoiler alert. So we'll actually be able to do a little bit of a side-by-side of these movies. I don't think one
I will admit, because the trailer looks so similar to the Book of Life, I did not initially see Coco in theaters. When I did see it, I regretted not seeing it in theaters.
Because it's so pretty, right? It's really, and it's a good story. It's like the musician angle is one thing, but like the way the plot plays out, the story and the characters involved is way different, which we'll definitely discuss as we go forward. But as long as everyone is set up for synchronization, this is a 20th Century Fox film, so you'll be able to see the logo coming up as we begin. In 3. Actually, wait, no. In 3, 2, 1, vamos!
Oh, I I was just trying to think of what to compare it to. So Coco is to Book of Life, as Happy Feet is to the Pebble and the Penguin.
You know, that's not a bad angle, actually. I mean, the Kid Penguin wasn't a rock hopper. Though Robin Williams played a rock hopper in that movie. God rest his soul. Why are we talking about Happy Feet now?
And that there've been comparisons between those two movies.
I mean, yeah, I guess. So turn that down. My face is a little blown out. Actually, could I do like some very
like A Million Dreamers and Disney pairs we could also compare that to.
Oh yeah. And The Book of Life. Yeah, so yeah, Jorge Gutierrez, you can recognize his aesthetic right away, right here. Real Effects, same animation studio behind Freebirds. That's true. That's true. Like, you just look at his character design and you know, it's like, I know the guy, but sometimes you forget the name. Also, somebody tell me if I'm pronouncing that name correctly.
Don't look at me.
Jorge Gutierrez.
I'm like elementary level Spanish.
Okay. Because I know that that in Mexico they pronounce their J's as an H, like Jose. Yeah. Also, I still need to watch Maya and the Three. I've been sleeping on that show. Like.
And this is Christina Applegate.
Ah, yes.
Only thing I know her as is as Rachel Green's sister from Friends, the mean one.
So, this is a really... I love this establishing notion here. It's like, these are the, like, they must learn, like, a moral of the story kind of thing because these are the problem kids at school. The detention, the short bus. Well, it's October 29th right now.
Technically, November 1st and 2nd are both the Festival of the Day of the Dead.
That would make a lot of sense. Like, Halloween is All Hallows Eve, so kind of so it precedes.
Yeah, All Saints Day and All Souls Day.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in that order. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So with a lot of religious assimilation. Yeah. Thanks to colonialism, yes. Day of the Dead was a result of All Saints Day and All Souls Day, with some Aztec traditions.
Yes, so let's not forget. This is a very, 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 very Mexican holiday, and Jorge Gutierrez is a very, very Mexican cartoonist.
So if anybody says that there's a lot of stereotypes in here, remember, it's literally made by Mexicans. So anything that looks stereotypical, they're clearly okay with it.
And also want to point out that Mexicans really love Speedy Gonzales. So some cultures have a very different relationship with racial caricatures. That's just how it works. I love these kids. Ooh.
Didn't Jorge do a cameo in the recent Hell of a Boss short that was about the Chupacabra?
That's what they're saying in the chat, so probably true. I love the giant mustache. Also, subtle detail. That's disgusting. But, like, I love the subtlety that the little island is not only skull-shaped, but with the bridge, it's guitar-shaped. It's just so great. Nice little detail. Ah, yes. Yep. Yeah. This movie doesn't really dwell on that, honestly. Next week's movie will, but because the...
pointed out to me... is that actually there is a prayer that can be done for the forgotten.
Aw.
So that they can also go to the land of the dead. But, creative liberties.
True.
Subtle. I mean, she is pretty, isn't she?
Yeah.
Oh God, the foreshadowing.
Yes. He's our chaos spirit. I love it.
Okay,
I love that
I watched
kid.
it. One of my friends I watched it with was pansexual, and she like canonized like, oh, he's totally a pansexual kid. He don't care if they're boy or girl. He thinks they're pretty.
Yeah. Saw a Fluttercore picture with this. That's brilliant. Yeah, I think it was like Discord was Zabalba and Fluttershy was La Muerte.
Yeah, somebody did a ponyfied clip of that.
It makes sense. More like 100 Death Day parties, but yeah.
Now look, I'm Catholic, so when we were living in Poland, also Saints Day and All Souls Day, we'd spend decorating the graves of loved ones with candles and such. But it'd be a much quieter celebration. That's a stark difference.
Yeah, because like it's like it's that thing. It's like Mexico like adopting they kind of like adopted the Catholic stuff and decided
it's called assimilation,
and in a way appropriation as well, like in their own way, like the way they do it, they just make everything into a delightful party.
Well, remember, honey, with colonialism, they were kind of forced to assimilate.
That's true.
Christian traditions, but they found a way to still be celebrating their traditions,
to keep their culture involved in it.
Yeah,
which is what I love about it. And it's like, it's not a celebration of death, it's a celebration of life. It's like, which is what's really great about it. It's called the Day of the Dead. We remember them.
This voice actor so much.
Oh yeah.
Baba.
Ron Perlman's great.
Ron Perlman, thank you. I forgot his name for a second.
Yeah. Also, I love that, like, they're in the museum hearing this story secondhand, and that's why the characters in the main story are wooden puppets. So we actually get to see them later, because we come back to the framing.
Except for Xibalba and La Muerte. They are not
That is
puppets.
true, they're not puppets, because they're spirits. They're kind of above it, which is really... And a little foreshadowing to something else. If you've seen this movie, you know.
Yeah, honestly, Xibalba and La Muerte really steal the show.
Oh, yeah, no, and their designs are so great. It's like...
Their designs, their whole relationship dynamic.
If it was anything other than CGI, the skull eyes would still look super cool, but the way they're able to rotate in 3D space is really awesome. And they get to choose their champion.
Aw. You know they had to give him at least one dead parent so that when he does end up in LA, and remember he's got somebody to reconnect with.
It's also kind of important to the celebration. And it also works in that story element of the father. Like we were talking about, the father who wants his son to be one thing, but his son wants to be another. And the most important thing to the son is to not be a disappointment to his father.
And him using the mom as, like, emotional blackmail.
Yeah. But again, that's also kind of, like, the thing I've seen in some, like, very Latin, stories, like, Latin American stories, like, whether it's Latin America or South America, this is how the families are in those regions.
Yeah, Mexico's part of Latin America, not South America. It's North America. That's
true. Latin America's portion of North America, and South America, it's like... But again, it's the same colonialized areas, and because of how close they are, there is some cultural crossover. They're not the same at all. But it's like the way families behave in those Latinized cultures is very, very much like this. and Encanto. Encanto's another good example as far like from what I've heard.
Okay. Not sure Latinize is the right word you want to use there. Say Hispanic colonized cultures.
True. There is an important, like, but for representation reasons, there's a big difference between Latino and Hispanic.
Well, I'm saying Hispanic because I'm talking about Spanish colonized areas.
Right. Spooky. Please.
Like, the distinction would be Antonio Banderas is Hispanic, but he's not Latino.
I think the difference would be Antonio Banderas and Lin-Manuel Miranda, right?
Antonio Banderas is from Spain, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is actually, where is he from?
I think he's mixed, but he comes from the.
No, because the thing is, everything he's a part of is like it's a different part of Latin America.
Yeah, he did Encanto, so again, he's mixed. He's got a mixed background.
He did Colombia. He did right. What was Vivo?
That was like Cuban.
Cuban, yes.
Yeah.
Cuba. Anyway, back to this. We're getting off track.
I love the way his teeth form out of the. Did they say he was like made of like tar?
Yeah, I should note that this whole story is actually based on the Greek myth of Orpheus. So that's why
a portion of it
these two have like a Hades and Persephone kind of vibe.
That's also true. That's going to become very funny in about an hour.
I know. Like, yeah, pretty crazy, right?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been what? Like 100 years about, so.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is predominantly of Puerto Rican descent. That would make a lot of sense. Oh, no! Liberate the swine! That's a very interesting way of characterizing them, like he's the responsible one, and God, I already forgot their names. I'll hear them names again.
No, Joaquin
was being very, yeah,
but the difference is Manolo supports Maria.
Yeah, they both have a very similar sense of fun and justice. Cry freedom and let slip the pigs of war!
My friends also really love this film because of the female characters and
also the Mexican hat dance and the score there. Uh-oh.
No, I'm saying
it's a bore.
This movie has really good female characters, from Maria to La Muerte to the grandma to the mother.
Yep. Oh, tough guy.
But he's not really tough because he knows he can't be hurt.
Well, I mean, if you knew you couldn't be hurt, you would do what you could, right?
It ain't bravery. This bravery.
I mean, you're not wrong. But at the same time, Joaquin is technically indestructible, and he's using that to his advantage. Would you call Superman a coward? I mean, come on.
Okay, but Superman faces a lot of foes that are like, can't be defeated by a normal human.
True. And I guess at least Superman had spent his entire life being that way, whereas Joaquin just kind of got the Medal of Courage immediately, like, just out of the blue. See, what's so troubling for this poor boy is that he is good at it.
Yeah, but he did it to defend the village, not for glory or anything.
That's
Joaquin
true.
did it for glory.
That's true. Yeah. I think he's also like the... Oh.
I always love how she says, "Why?" Oh God, that name. They purposely made that sound overly Catholic.
Oh, yeah.
See,
But they're able
like I
to...
said,
Yeah.
I'm Catholic. I can laugh at this. No, well, not so much in practice anymore, but I get it.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. I guess you could say, how do you solve a problem like Maria?
There are too many Marias, I swear.
No, how do you solve a problem like Maria? Because, anyway.
Oh, shoot. Man, I got so wrapped up in this, I didn't realize my alarm... Okay, I'll be back, folks. I have to go change my laundry. Just keep it going.
No, of course not. Of course not stopping. Put my phone somewhere. I hope it doesn't go off. I mean, how so? Imagine being your own hype man, dude. Come on. It's badass. I mean, his focus. I love everything about this. Hector Elizondo, bodyguard from the Princess Diaries. See, I wouldn't have got that. Excited for Mufasa the Lion King? No, I am not. But we're talking about this movie right now. Actually, let me explain why I'm not excited for Mufasa the Lion King. Just the dedication to the wooden puppet aesthetic, even down to the sound effects. Like if you listen to the way that they clatter against each other and stuff, it's like you can hear the sounds of wooden dolls when they move around. Very funny. Aw, Piggy. So, it's really nice. Chewy. No. Aw. Man. Aw. And the guitar has a fucking mustache. Always play from the heart, Maria. What a sweet, what a very sweet moment. This movie, like, as far as I can tell, is just unabashedly Mexican. That's what's really interesting to me. Aw. Those many, many long years. Does I love the accordion in the background. She loves mustaches. On the topic of mustaches, Joaquin is really dedicated to this mustache thing. There's always something. chop, 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 chop. Stand at attention. And damn. Man is an absolute legend in this town. Because of a magical amulet that nobody seems to know about, but you know. It's the thought that counts. I love the way we're paralleling these stories here. And then he goes off to war and he stays and practices being El Matador. Love. It's also interesting that this and Coco have another thing in common. Neither of these movies are musicals. I think the guy with the big beard was, what's his name? Cheech Marin, I believe. And Gabriel Ingles, I don't know how to say that. But he played Speedy Gonzalez in like Space Jam 2 or something like that. Enter the ring. Enter the ring. I love the aged wood on grandma. Such a nice detail. And the little knots in the wood. Everything. It's great. God, the gaslighting is real. The gaslighting is real. You keep... Motherfucker. Yeah. What does it mean to be a Sanchez? That's what we're about to find out throughout the rest of the story. Now, you know what is really interesting is, no, I don't think Real Effects was responsible for the Lego movie. No. I think Real Effects was responsible for those CGI Looney Tunes shorts. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. They were in 3D, beautiful fur and feather textures on Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. But it's like, I want you guys to imagine this movie if they not only went with the wooden puppet aesthetic, but if they also went with a stop motion frame rate. Wouldn't that have been great? The theme of shadows in this film, that is true. There is a big theme of shadows in this movie. And it's like living in the shadow of your ancestors and living or dead. I guess ancestors implies dead. Aw. What a very curious girl that Maria. She says just offhandedly. Hey, don't do that while your woman is right there. Here we are. The whip crack sound effect. Assassino. I believe that's like caution or something. any Spanish speakers or anybody with Google Translate, what does asesino mean? I think it's like danger or caution. Which would be my guess. Because otherwise it would be the name of the bull. Which, I mean, like, why would we name a bull? They literally say, bull, bull, toro, toro, whenever they want to get their attention, so. Yeah, no showboating. No showboating. Don't show your boats. Your boats must not be shown. Again, the dedication to this little, like, wooden figures. Matador. Matador does... It means killer? Huh. Oh. So I guess it is the name of the bull. They named the bull Killer. That's kind of hardcore. Which I guess would make sense in a different context of the Spanish in Mexico, because in the Spanish of Spain, matador means killer as well. Asesino. Oh, assassin. I should have figured that out myself, right? Like, I feel like I should have figured that out myself. Duh. Anyway. The way that different language.
I guess I missed Zibalba and La Marcha being jealous for each other.
Well, I mean, Zibalba was being a little gawky, whereas she was just kind of hyping him up.
Oh, but you know what he was thinking.
Yeah, he's like, ah.
Yeah, standing up for what is right, because she stood up for the pigs. He stood up for the bull.
You threw a guitar at my head.
I love the grandma too. I was a beast. Like I was a beast in the arena.
And also I was talking about the aged wood on her face and the knots.
Yeah. Ouch.
God damn.
You're the grandma, just.
Anybody feeling this story? Oh, God, even.
You're welcome, man.
Even Killer the bull is disappointed in him. Like, wow. Yeah, because again, this isn't about being a bullfighter. It's about who wins Maria's heart. I think it's something that Zibalba forgets. Actually, shouldn't it be Zibalba? Like a little more like a GJ kind of thing.
Well, honey, you forget that the Spanish never agree. That any Spanish speakers, they never agree on the pronunciation.
That's a good point. I mean, it is an X, and being pronounced like a Z is pretty acceptable in most cases.
Now look, I'm just saying, if the Mexican filmmakers were okay with it being Zibalba, that's probably the way they wanted it said.
I'll get it out.
And I'm sure
because the directors
some parts of Latin America, I'm sure say Zibalba, like in Road to El Dorado.
Zibalba, but it's Zibalba here in this movie. Yeah, I mean that's also just like. Yeah, that's how different the cultures can be, just like a few hundred miles away. It's like, God.
Yeah, this is why they couldn't teach Spanish in my school, because they couldn't decide which Spanish to teach.
Are we going to teach Latin Spanish, or are we going to teach Hispanic Spanish? Spain or
It's
Latin?
called Castilian Spanish.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's actually a third Spanish.
No, it's Castilian Spanish.
Well, there are like 3 different Spanishes, as far as I can tell.
There's Latin American Spanish, and then there's Castilian Spanish.
Anyway. I also love that you'll notice the detail on some of the men in this movie is that there's a specific, like, shadow area around some of their faces. Like, particularly Joaquin and Manolo.
Yeah, there's
where they have
there's
this...
a pair. Well, how many types of Spanish are there? Actually, over 29 Spanish dialects. So we're both wrong.
Oh,
We're both wrong.
God.
So again,
Also, I love this moment. This definitely reminds me of Jasmine a little bit. Which is totally, like...
yeah.
Love
Have
it.
you mentioned Channing Tatum yet?
Channing Tatum?
Yeah. Yeah, Channing Tatum, who is Joaquin. He was pretty much the heartthrob of my generation.
Yeah, I'd heard something like that.
Yeah, he was in Step Up. You remember we saw She's the Man together, honey.
That's true.
Yeah, and this is Zoe Saldana. You know her from the My Little Pony movie. She's the pirate captain.
You may also know her as Gamora from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, right. Also, she's the new Uhura in the Star Trek movies.
Huh. Oh, Uhura, yeah, you're right.
And that's Cheech Marin.
Yeah, we were talking about
said them.
Cheech Marin and Gabriel Iglesias. I believe, I think that's it.
Cheech Marin, who's also in Coco. It's like anytime they do a Mexican movie, he's in it.
And even when they don't do a Mexican movie and they just have the Mexican character, like in in Oliver and Company.
Yeah.
I think this was a top 40 radio hit at the time this movie came out.
I wouldn't know.
But I love that they just do the quirky honky tonk version of it, like, for the comedy angle. We never see his wife, by the way. Okay, I know this was definitely a top 40 hit at the time.
He didn't even get started.
She didn't want to hear any more of that nonsense. Just spend the rest of the night in the taco store.
Yeah, because they're being ridiculous, and yeah. The fact that he still kept that guitar in good condition after all this time.
Yep. You can even see like he had to repair it because there's a little bit of a crack on the frets.
Oh yeah, right. It's a little faded.
But even like a full on
good enough
crack.
condition to play.
Yeah. Well, technically any instrument is in good enough condition to play.
This song is so pretty.
I believe this is also like it was written for the movie.
Yes, this was written for the movie.
Would you really know? I love it when, even if a song is like, I wouldn't call this a musical number. I'd definitely call this a pop song. I mean, it like not a pop song like, but I mean like pop song as in popular music, because jazz used to be pop songs like back in the 20s. But like this is like a song you would probably hear on the radio in spite of itself. It's like it's not overly specific to the scenario what's going on. It's just kind of a love song. But that's what's really great about it.
Did you notice the dog was still eating that arm?
The dog. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of running gags in this movie that are really great when you pay attention to them.
Yeah, Diego Luna sings really great.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you know the myth of Orpheus, you know, Orpheus was a musician. And he loved Eurydice.
Yeah. You could see the gears turning in his head. What can I do?
You know, I will give Joaquin some credit. He really did care about Maria. They
both care about her.
Yeah.
But the difference is Manolo understands her.
Yes. Okay.
And then at the pig's nose and the heart on the... Love that right there. When he says yours. Because that's not something you get when you just have the person completely sing it straight. Like, he really performs
now, okay,
that
now
song.
now that is hard to get.
Yes.
That is plain hard to get. But yeah, it's like, just tease a little.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I love how the dad is totally on it, too. They really are kind of like the Bimbets to Gaston, aren't they? But for Joaquin.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Joaquin's not a big asshole. he's a bit of a dipwad, but he's not an asshole.
Yeah, I'll get
Bit
in
of
that
a
later, because there's a
drip.
scene coming later which really shows his character.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about too. Oh my god, she is down bad. Yes.
I remember that from the trailer.
It's a good.
Yeah, I wish I had seen this in theaters, but being in college, I didn't have much transportation to see movies.
I don't remember
in the
if I did see it in theaters. Ooh, dude.
Mm-hmm.
A little slap, little bitch slap. Ah!
That really is a Channing Tatum moment.
Yeah. I'll work with a banjo. Ooh.
I love this.
She is not.
I love that she was, sent away to become a lady.
Yeah.
Really, all it did just made her more badass.
Oh yeah.
Like, yes, go educate the young woman. You'll make her a lady. Nope, it makes her educated and awesome. She found empowerment in her education.
There's the priest hiding behind the sisters.
I love how their sombreros are like blades.
Yeah, just that sound effect gets used a few times and things.
Yeah, the steel sombreros.
The steel sombreros that look like fucking bear traps. That is such a good cutoff scream bit.
That is like jelly, but I think it's jewelry.
I love that guy actually, but I want the jelly. Like, this movie is also super cartoony. I mean,
honey, tell me, is this a thing?
About mustaches?
Men being obsessed with mustaches for no good reason.
I just like the way my mustache looks. I think he's just using it as like his manly street cred.
For Channing Tatum not being Hispanic in any way,
he is pronouncing the words very well.
Yeah.
But that's just good direction when your director actually gets you to do that correctly. Imagine if Superman was smug. He doesn't even, like, acknowledge that they said that.
He probably did, and that's why he did that punch. You know, bear in mind, this is still one of her childhood friends.
Mm-hmm. And they're the dolls. I love that.
This purple-haired kid.
I love their energy. They got a really good line later.
Oof. Jeez. Honey, when we have kids, let's not do this.
You gotta let kids. You've got to protect them and guide them, but don't force them. You know?
You know, unless they end up in really deep shit, you know?
Well, that's part of the protecting. Again, it's about protecting and guiding and not forcing. If your guidance and protection needs force in certain scenarios, then yeah, but like don't force them to do anything they don't want to do. And that's the most important thing.
This puppet is like all mechanical.
Yeah, he's got like it's like he's got burlap part of him. He's still got the wooden face and hair. But he's got like stretchy chain-like arms.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they just had to cut out. Like, how many minutes do you think there is of Channing Tatum just making up different metals? You know? He really did keep it the whole time. Damn. But she doesn't.
I love what they do with him. They could have easily made him like Gaston. And while he is a bit, full of himself, it shows that he's not a completely bad guy.
It's true. He
does still care for Marie.
He cares about her. He doesn't.
And he does care about his friend too, even if they're kind of rivals right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Manolo,
he's full of himself,
Manolo,
but he's not.
Wherefore art thou, Manolo?
Yeah, he's full of himself, but he's not villainous. Cheater, pumpkin eater. I don't know where I was going with that, but
that man is pulling a fucking. Well, Manolo's gonna be playing with the big boys now.
Oh. This is such a lovely rendition of the song.
Also, how fucking long did it take him to set all that up?
I know, and none of them blew out.
It's a nice, calm evening, still air. Yes, this is a great song. And again, like, this is how needle drops need to work in most movies. Like, don't just play the song. Yeah. Have it be unique to the movie, right?
Yeah. Eat your heart out, Elvis.
I was like, there's definitely a time and a place for like a straight needle drop, but like this movie has a musician. If you're gonna use popular songs, then have him sing them. Damn.
The way it reflects in her eyes.
Oh.
God.
Oh, I love how humble it is.
She kneels down to him, too.
Oh.
Eurydice in the myth of Orpheus, she actually was bitten by a snake, so.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time this happened, my friends were all like, "What? Oh, I'm gonna hate this movie." If
Also,
yeah.
also we get the kids back in a minute with our delightful little very
my friends,
Princess Bride-esque moment.
I know my friend. My friends, my college friends are like, "No. I hate this movie now."
Look at how pale she is now too.
Kind of grayish. Yeah. Okay, damn. No. Ooh, ow. Ooh.
Now that's friends saying things when they've been hurt. I love.
I agree.
I want to call them emo kid because their eyes are covered in purple
Yeah.
hair. But like, emo kid's energy is just great.
Sorry, is it?
And here he is doing I love the shadow. It's so good. It's such a good moment.
And then Orpheus goes to the underworld to get Eurydice back.
Uh-huh.
Ooh,
I
that
love
flash.
that.
No, that's a bullshit deal though, because he didn't see Maria again. That shouldn't have counted.
That is an excellent question, kid.
Remember, this is also made by Mexicans, so they're allowed to they get away with that joke.
But also, yeah, what is it with Mexicans and death? Again, Day of the Dead is a celebration of life, is what I keep
And
saying.
considering in 3 more years we get another Mexicans and death movie.
I also want to point out, like, we will probably cover Corpse Bride at some point, which has a very jazzy underworld, but where do you think that influence comes from? It comes from bright and colorful lands of the dead like this. Like the idea that death is just a party, you know? It's like, you've lived your life, you are free from your mortal coil, and now you just get to do nothing but celebrate for the rest of your existence. That's why I believe there is at least some kind of afterlife. You know, because everyone has their own answer to it, but like... Okay, which voice actor is this? Because he sounds kind of familiar. It's not some A-list celebrity, especially not for such a brief bit part. And it's like, I love the energy he's giving. Uh-oh.
Let's see, we got some Aztecs scattered about in here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, where else did those pyramids come from, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just looking at this, and I can't help but think of It's a Small World, where the Mexico section is, like, very colorful.
You know what? Yeah. Miguel Sandoval. No one I'm familiar with. Which is kind of dumb. Honey, do me a favor. Never do anything this dumb.
Wait, you mean bullfighting? I wouldn't.
Well, no, anything that, like, unnecessarily puts your life in danger for no goddamn reason.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you're a guy, so...
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you can hear the Toreador march from Carmen in the background.
Yeah.
Vote now. Who's more handsome, Manolo or the opera singer?
And this is Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. Are you familiar with Jackie Chan Adventures? No.
No, Spy Kids. Machete.
Yes. Ah, yes. I remember
Is
him.
like every other thing.
Aw. Man. I feel for Cousin Chucho right now. Imagine wanting to do something different with your life. He's just a funny little guy. Leave him alone. The guy was El Toro, the luchador from the show. Ah! Okay. Okay, so I guess he was a character on Jackie Chan Adventure. Okay. No.
Yeah.
I love that.
Enough.
I also, God, look at the chips and scratches on the wood of his like lapels and shoulders. What are those shoulder things called?
And shoulder pads.
No, I mean like. I feel like there's a name for a specific one, kind of like the Duke from Cinderella, like that specific style, like what he's got on right now. There's a name.
You already said lapels.
Well, lapels are are like the. Anyway.
Do you mean epaulets?
Epaulets. That's the one I'm thinking of. Thank you. The epaulets you can see like the wear and tear on them.
Oh yeah, they're Ladrona warriors.
And I love the painted on white of Mom's hair. I have to imagine that the skulls and skeleton bits are like meant to look like bleached wood or clay. I honestly can't tell which. So the mother's from Nacho Libre. Aha.
Oh right, the grandma is Grey Griffin.
Yes.
I was a beast. I hear it now.
Yeah. Delightful. And not everybody has a big knife for an upper arm, you know. Just giving you that one.
Because he only did it with one arm, one leg.
Mm-hmm.
Plot twist.
I love the wear and tear on the wood on the sisters' sombreros. It's great.
I love how they just accept that answer.
I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh God, Ron Perlman is just...
He is chewing it up.
He is such an underrated actor.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Beauty and the Beast TV series made him famous. I feel like he doesn't get enough roles.
At least in animation. Like, he's a good character actor from what I've noticed.
He's in the third American Tail movie, which we still need to watch together.
So like, I can't tell if it's supposed to be bleached wood or clay for the skeletons, but it still matches the aesthetic of like dolls. So either way, it's
I would have
probably...
had a headache trying to animate the bubble, to be honest. I mean, the skulls and then the flames and... Jeez.
Now, imagine if they had like a whole TV series. I would have storyboarded a bit where if he were staring daggers at someone, he'd point the jaw of the skull out of his eyes and they would turn into blade shapes. Honestly, I'm just thinking of creative things you could do with it. But, you know, that's just me. And he's got like full-on epaulets on his thing.
Military stars.
He's got a lot of those. I mean, one of those is for having the most medals.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, he doesn't even revel in this.
Yeah, of course, that's his best friend. And I love this moment right here. I think this is what you were talking about before.
Actually, I was talking about earlier, but
not like that.
This too, though.
That right there is like I know what your concern is, but we are in mourning right now. Are you... He was my friend too. Like, I love how I love how he's walking it back. Like, it's like he really does care. It's like Maria is not happy. I think he realizes that maybe now he's her only choice, but it shouldn't have been.
Yes, he wants her to want to be with him, not to have to be with him.
That's very true. And I think this also is a turning point for him, realizing that Maria won't have his heart. Like, he won't. Anyway. Love
these kids.
Oh, emo kid, your energy. Oh, that pose. Up the river Styx. Or that.
Yeah, Orpheus had to go through a lot of trials to get to Eurydice.
I mean, he had to face the Cerberus, right?
Yeah. But of course, you know how that story ended.
Yeah. But I mean, you know.
Greek tragedies. He did the one thing Hades told him not to do.
Yeah.
And he looked back.
Mm-hmm. There's a similar story in the Bible where there was a city of sin that was burning, and one woman who looked back was turned into a pillar of salt.
Interesting.
So, you know, these stories literally are tales as old as time when you really think about it. Like,
so why did they not want people looking back? This is making me wonder. They want not look back at the past or something?
I think, well, at least in the Greek story, it was about... Well, in the Greek and the biblical story, I think it was about trust. It's about, like, you know... It's like, and if you look back, you don't have any trust or faith in your heart. And that's kind of your failing and moral failing of your character. And so you don't get what you want. So you either lose...
It's a pinball thing.
Ah, yes.
The pinball disc. Whatever you call it.
Yeah,
you know how the...
Yeah, I don't know what
you
this
know how those things
game
are big.
is...
Those mini pinball things that you just do in your hand.
It's a marbles game as far as I can tell, because there are some made with larger ones for larger metal balls or marbles.
And that's it's not a marbles game. It's a pinball thing that's a pinball maze in your hand.
Well, yeah, there's tiny versions, but then there's also larger versions where you try to get the thing in the hole. Stand up to it.
Clever. Earn the right to be judged.
Literally, the power of love and like the strength of your heart is what this is all about. Like you say, like, that's bravery. He could have very well died, but he stood up. The diamond in the rough, if you will.
Classic mom move.
Yeah.
I was like, don't do that
Classic.
again, but I'm glad you're safe.
The classic Latina mom move.
Like, I'm proud of you, but also mad at you for doing something so stupid.
It was this,
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, yeah, thank you.
Are we there yet?
And I love the way, because he's made of wax, they just give him the rubbery limbs. And also something I wanted to mention, while Manola was alive, and I guess Joaquin as well, they both had, like, pie cuts in their eyes. I don't quite know if there's a significance behind that, but, like, now we got rubber hose limbs over here.
You could tell he's kind of been alone in his cave for a while.
Oh, yeah. Including Puddle? Well, I guess Puddle has a life as a puddle.
Rock and tree and creature as a life, as a spirit, as a name.
So if there's 4 waterfalls, there's the land of the dead, there's the land of the remembered, the land of the forgotten, the living realm. What's the 4th one?
1, 2.
Because I remember seeing like 4 in the
3.
previous shot. See?
Okay, you're right. There are 4.
Yeah.
Good question.
Anyone want to help me out here? Look up your Mexican folklore and teach me, what is the 4th realm?
I don't know. Maybe it's like the godly realm? I don't know.
Oh, there's 4 waterfalls, and since this place connects the realms, there's the land of the remembered, the land of the forgotten, the living mortal world, and then there's a 4th one. So, what is
the other gods are?
I mean, maybe kind of a Mount Olympus, kind of this is the god's home kind of place. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, probably.
But she's the queen of the.
Yeah, you know that the Aztecs have like a whole bunch of other gods, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, not all the gods of Mount Olympus live in the land of the dead.
Saint Chihuahua.
I'm just saying, you don't have Zeus and Hera living out in the underworld, too.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. You're totally right. Yeah, that might just be it. And they're also doing they're also doing like the shape around his beard. A very rubber hose mouth shape.
A beard full of clouds, remember?
Is also clouds, yes. Another little detail.
At the beginning they said beard full of clouds, made of wax.
The candle maker.
Yeah, like, hang on. You know, this is me and telling the kids how to jump into the pool. Some of them will just go straight up.
Speaking of jumping in.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, okay, you jump in feet first, and then bam! Like, no, you didn't hear me finish. Yeah, where did that meme come from? I immediately regret this decision.
I think it's just kind of a general comedy thing to do when someone does something that they kind of think like, I didn't think this through at all. Woof. The absolute contrast.
And again, try not to be forgotten.
And look at that. They're going to take a boat.
No, they took a path. Didn't you see the path?
It looked like there was a boat at the edge. Anyway.
There was a path. There was a whole jagged path.
Mm-hmm.
Snows, everybody.
I love this bit.
She's personable. I mean, I guess if you still have bones.
Made of bones.
And she doesn't even question it.
Nope, she's just...
I love this bit. Like, honey!
Yeah.
And the fact that he had wine and stuff, like, you really thought it was a booty call.
Now that's an insult. That is actually very Discord energy.
Yeah.
But honestly...
Oh, that one was on you, man.
Slip of the tongue.
And mental process there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woof. You killed my son.
I love that. Can I get his laughter? Yeah, you did cheat. You said that he would see Maria, and he didn't.
Yep.
So you're it's null and void.
This is...
Mom and Dad are fighting again.
Pretty much.
Yeah, see, Baba's sleeping on the couch tonight. Oh God, you're right. That's it. You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Imagine that.
This is DF during the game night. What do you mean this is me during game night? What part? I don't get it. Did I miss something? What part is me on game night?
And the skulls turn to face him. It's really, and he actually knows exactly what he was doing.
Ouch.
Yep. Oh boy. Man.
This always being the harbinger.
Mm-hmm. It's like he's
And this was pretty ballsy of the dad here.
You wanna know what else is interesting about the dad? Oh God, that was just so simple. As I noticed, he has an actual literal chip on his shoulder. Look, on his left shoulder.
God, you're right.
I love that.
God, you're right.
And I almost certainly guarantee you Zabalba knew that his father was about to die in that moment.
Yeah, I'm sure he peeked in the Book of Life.
Because... Oh, I don't think he needed to peek. He just set up this challenge knowing that Manola would have to do it in front... That's a good line.
No, because he thought it was his fear.
Well, no. The thing is, like, he put him up against every single bull, knowing that his father was going to die very soon, and he'd have the eyes of his father on him.
That kid's only role.
I love it. It's just great. Don't worry, he's just grabbing his Medal of Courage. It's fine.
That woman still has a scarf.
I mean, desperate times, as it were.
Shouting in Spanish? Just write the damn Spanish words, you lazy caption people. That is so funny.
That's a pretty funny line. Also, if you've ever eaten Mexican food, that's also very funny.
I still don't get what the "this is DF during game night" means. Did I miss something?
I must have too, because I'm not entirely sure what they were referencing.
I know.
Something
Like what? Me shouting at the top of my lungs? I'd believe that, actually.
probably. He lost his dad and his great grandma all on the same day.
Oh, what's his grandma?
Yeah, great grandma. I think you might be thinking of Coco.
No. Yeah, no.
It was Manola's grandmother.
Yeah. Luis only calls her mama because sometimes husbands and wives will call each other like, "Yo, mama" or "papa."
Like, that's also a good line.
Scribe kind of forgot. Okay, thank you.
I also love the sun bleached part of his like, he's got a nice finish on the wood of his uniform, but you can see the sun bleaching where the belt was covering. Which is really great. Little detail. Ugh.
Yeah, you're not a real hero.
Well,
You didn't do any of it because you were brave. You knew that.
he knew he couldn't be hurt. He was a hero to a lot of people because of it.
Yeah, but he did it for the glory. He got caught up in it.
Yeah, that can be a bit of a this is his humbling moment. It's just with the way that he eyes Manolo and what he is about to do next. I love every single time you use a weapon or something like with a reflective surface like that, it's like I see myself in this moment. You know what? I think it is supposed to be I think the skeletal parts are supposed to be clay because I think there's something about that like in terms of like decorations during like Dia de los Muertos for skulls.
Or they could actually just be made of bone.
Whose
sometimes
bones?
Yes, sometimes they'd make, there's some people carve things out of actual bone or ivory.
Well, I guess after you turn the piggy into bacon, you're gonna want to do something with the rest of it.
Maybe it's just painted wood.
It's hard to tell.
I'm
with
just
the
really
pores.
squinting at it.
Still love the fidelity and the detail. Another original song. I think this one definitely reads more like a musical moment.
Orpheus
Yeah.
won over Hades and Cerberus with the music.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is essentially Orpheus battling Cerberus. I put battle in quotations.
Yeah.
Soothing with the song.
Yeah. Damn.
Take a knee.
And the look on his face when he realizes what he'd done. Or at least what he thinks he'd done. Like, he always wanted to make his father proud, and that's a nice little gag there.
And it turns into marigolds.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The marigold petals, right?
It's a very important flower in
Day of the Dead.
Yep. Because the thing is, yeah. Because like,
We just need
even
a
if
moment
he-
of understanding.
yeah, even if Zabalba like Zabalba like knew that doing it in front of his father would still make it even tougher. Like, even if he didn't like influence his father's death, he knew that it would make it tricky. Oof. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, the mustache beard area on like Manolo and Joaquin is a very nice touch, having that as a separated piece, jutted forward. Even if they like, you know, even a clean shaven man's gonna have that.
Oh, here we go.
There. Yeah.
He goes straight for it. He's like, man,
love
dude,
the
I
little-
literally.
Little fingernail shapes cut into the hands.
Yeah.
It's like this.
It was like, I literally went to hell and back for this girl. Give me 1 second to kiss her, okay?
Yeah. And this is a great line. You never want to ask that, man.
Don't even question it. Oh, that little touch there.
Yeah. We spent all this
I mean, they're
time.
gods. They're gods, you know?
Yeah. Whew. Off he goes.
Dream.
And I love even in the moment, like the way he was swinging his blades around. He got up there. And their mustaches too.
Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, they're Adelita warriors. That's what I was saying. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Adelita warriors.
That is such a like sister thing.
The Adelita was like a female soldier in
man.
the Mexican Revolution.
I love when the animators do that with a mustache. It could be a lot of fun.
Like, I've been waiting for this.
Woo!
This guy really liked luchadors and his stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's a reference to Animal Farm. My comrade.
I love that the subtitles.
Leap the fury.
Yeah, I love the subtitles actually translated the piggy. It's probably why there's like 4 subtitle tracks for this. Like one's for commentary, and then one's for the movie, and one's for the just the piggy.
What kind of comment was she sent to? He's still going, Joaquin.
Yep. Because like, what are you gonna do? I mean, like, you know what we can do, right? It's like, I think Manolo really understands.
Your family will lift you up.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, what does it really mean to be a man? Fighting the battles that matter.
Yep.
Bullfighting? No, that was not a fight worth fighting. This was.
Oh, shoot. Oh, boy. Whoop. She's getting there. Whoop.
And they fight as equals.
I mean, hey, she's kicking butt. Found it. His hands are grappling hooks. Yeah, they definitely went for that. And shark swords.
Tag teaming.
Whoop.
Yeah, shark swords.
Oh boy.
Future in-laws.
Ooh.
Ooh. He went full suicide bomber here.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
Oof. Moment. Oh, and you see that? Where his hand went?
Yeah.
And you can even see it on his back.
Yeah. It's really... It's love it you can catch that.
Only if you're really looking for it.
You can actually see the light of it reflecting in the bell. It's like because of that green glow. But then there's also just like the oxidation on the bell, so it's kind of hard to tell. Woof. That is definitely hardcore.
And wait a minute, I just realized something.
Hmm?
The villain was crushed by a giant bell.
That's hardly...
Okay, I'm sorry. They have no excuse there.
A bell is often used in a lot of like Mexican symbolism in some cases, so it's a very
Okay,
So it's
but
not.
you know, it's kind of eerie. I know. Like I didn't do it. And he actually got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Redemption arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plot armor. They literally established this metal like in the first 5 minutes. What plot
Yeah.
armor?
It's not plot armor. It's like I've never
literal.
seen more clearly.
It's literal armor.
Never seen more clearly. While he's
While his
half
eye
blind
is
now.
missing. Yeah. Or at the very least, you know. At the
Yeah.
very least, like injured. Aww.
I can still.
I love how he's still wearing the luchador mask.
Approve.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh God.
It doesn't matter how they fight.
I mean, they're gods, so
Yeah.
it'd be kind of silly to hold a grudge for all eternity.
It would definitely be hard. Today was a good day. It was a reference to an Ice Cube song. Nice. I think this ends up being our last needle drop in the movie. Yep, lost an eye.
He'll be fine. He'll find someone else. Yeah, pretty much my friends agreed, like, oh, he'll be fine. It won't be long before he finds someone else. Got a whole slew of admirers.
Man, I love
That-
They're great singers too.
Oh yeah. Zoe Saldana, she does quite a bit of singing. I mean, she sung in the My Little Pony movie, remember?
That's true. That's true. But also Manolo. Like, listen to that.
Diego Luna.
Like, listen to that rough on his voice there. Like, it sounds really good.
I think he'll play the field a little bit.
And in case you didn't notice, hey, it's maybe their first dance, but it's also the dance party ending. They created the wedding context for it, though, so you almost didn't notice, probably.
Yeah,
Again,
inside
like, I think-
a heart, inside a guitar, inside a skull,
And the Blake of the skull.
inside
I
a
didn't even know.
mustache.
Yeah. Well, beneath a mustache.
Okay, you didn't even need to say that. You didn't need to go really, really good kind of love. You know, we would need to remember that song, honey, for a certain playlist. And that is why they're not puppets.
Yeah.
Of course, it was sneaky having a totally different voice actress for her human form.
Yep. Yep. Just, what a delightful little movie. Jorge R. Gutierrez. But, like, yeah, and produced by Guillermo
Guillermo
del
del Toro.
Toro. You gotta give a lot of credit. Like, this is like, I like this in Coco in equal measure. This film is so, like, it's like no matter how much Pixar would do their research, this film is actually Mexican. You know, like
Yes.
like you really feel the like in Coco you can feel them being as respectful as possible, whereas in this you feel the Mexican energy. You feel there's a very specific cultural flavor that you don't get.
Yeah.
That you don't necessarily get in Coco.
Luna, Ron Perlman, Zoe Saldana.
I'm glad she never gave up acting. She had a tough time on the set of like Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl, but someone encouraged her to like to not give up film acting, and you know what? We got to be grateful for her because she's great.
Oh, Jorge did one of the ancestors there.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I remember hearing about Adelita soldiers in the Mexican Revolution.
And all the Trey Bumpus. Ooh, is that like relation to Roger Bumpus, Squidward's voice actor?
I don't know.
Somebody let me know.
I have
that.
no idea what you're talking about.
Doug Langdale, who also created The Weekenders and Dave the Barbarian. Dude, I love Dave the Barbarian. That show is hilarious. And now you say that, I
never saw it.
actually feel some of that energy in some of this movie.
I never saw it.
Oh, if you like absolutely bonkers comedy, like, I think you'd really be into it.
I had access to a select number of TV shows that would air overseas. Okay?
No,
Cut me
I
some
understand. I
slack.
understand. We'd have to.
And a lot of the older shows I got, I bought, I ended up getting DVD sets of.
Yeah. Where is the casting director? Because
I think that already passed because we saw the cast.
darn. But like, I always got to give credit to the casting director. Well, we'll see the cast's credit again as soon as the scroll comes up. So. No.
rated movie, but I think it's gotten a lot more attention. Definitely gotten a lot of attention from movie reactors recently.
Oh yeah, no.
They'll look at it and they're like, "How have I never heard of this movie before?"
There's like so many people, like, and I think it is one of those things where it's like,
it did not get as much. Let's see, what was going on in 2014? It did not get as much advertising as, say, what else was 2014? I don't know. It didn't get a lot of advertising. And of course, when Coco came out, it's kind of overshadowed this. Eric
the
Bauza,
Land of the Remembered
he's definitely been in a
Captain's
lot of
wife.
things.
Guillermo del Toro played the Land of the Remembered Captain's wife.
That's funny.
That's really funny.
Eric Bauza, I've definitely heard of. I think I might be wrong. I think he's Puss in Boots in the TV in the Netflix spinoff.
He is. He's also basically like he's Bugs Bunny now, essentially. Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
Really?
At least consistently. I remember in Space Jam 2 he also did Porky Pig. In addition. But anyway, and Splinter and Rise of the TMNT, of course, Bella would know that. The modeling, give some credit to the modelers and the rigging. Like, this is some difficult stuff. Like, from what I would not wish it on myself. The look development.
Oh, and he's Perry in the Fairly Odd Parents reboot. As in Poof.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Perry.
Yeah. Periwinkle, yeah.
Man, this guy's got a lot of... And Baby Shark. Oh, God.
The Baby Shark? Oh, my God.
No, Eric Bauza, she's got a lot of credits. Honestly, I'd be here all day if I went through all of them.
He really broke into the industry.
Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah,
and Tweety, I forgot.
start.
He's also doing Tweety as well. I forgot.
Like I said, if I went through all his credits, we'd be here all day. It's like, okay, I know him. I got the clarification.
Yeah. But what a delight.
Character Sculpts by Wasera Studios, El Salvador.
Nice.
So that's nice, and we're also getting.
I wonder if when they
Latinos behind the actual character.
Yes, I also
design,
wonder if that's also where the influence comes from, like dolls, like for children in Mexico, like back in the way they would like hand carve their own thing. I wonder. Like, if the sculptors actually made a physical reference of, like, so you want to look at this, and then they kind of did what the Lego Movie team would do, like, putting it under a microscope, getting all the fine details, you know? And it's like, and then really exaggerating that for animation, because it's like, it looks so beautiful. And the dedication to the aesthetic is so fucking good. Eric Bauza does do great impressions. And the Real Effects team... Yes. Also, spoiler alert, we'll be doing Freebirds later in November. so don't you worry, we'll be crossing that bridge.
Now, people do compare this to Coco a lot. And yes, this is primarily a romantic plot.
Oh yeah.
But you have to admit, some of the key points in the plot are a little too similar.
I'd say a lot of the similarities in the plot are, forgive me, for lack of a better word, Mexicanisms, if you will.
All be like, okay, once is a coincidence. 5 times?
No, like, ironically, the dolls are called Marias. That's cool. Such a neat little detail. Wouldn't have known that.
Going to the land of the dead, trying to make your way back with the help of your family, a musician who is shunned by his family, then the villain is crushed by a giant bell. I'm like, that's a little too on the nose here.
To be perfectly honest, the villain in this movie wasn't crushed by a giant bell. He died to explosion.
Under a giant bell.
Under a giant bell, but he didn't die because of the bell itself. Like, the bell alone, anyway. The events and characters and firms depicted in this photoplay are fictitious. Any similarity to actual persons living or dead to actual events or firms is purely coincidental. Man, they really had to cover their asses, didn't they?
Yes, purely coincidental. How about other fictional?
No. Death by explosion in a bell. Like, the bell did not cause the explosion. The bombs caused the explosion.
Okay, but the demise happened within a bell.
You are definitely right about that.
Yeah.
It may be the same reason why the bell was ringing in like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish when the ogre was when the giant was being defeated, is that it's a death toll. It's like, and that's in any culture, like the ringing of the bells, you know. It's like for whom the bell tolls.
You mean a death toll, not a death hole.
Death toll, yeah.
You said death hole. I'm like, what?
Oh. I might have. Anyway, but yeah, no, and it's also like the bell is something in the, like in this movie, the symbolism of the bell is about how the town was able to save themselves, like how everyone was there to save the day. Whereas the bell in Coco, which we'll cover next week, was about his hubris, was about fucker Mr. De La Cruz's hubris. It was like his pride and his glory, you know. Ring the bells in remembrance of me, and then, well, they certainly will now, because you were literally crushed by a giant bell. Like, any stage prop didn't necessarily need to be that heavy, but there you go. But yeah, there also is, like...
Okay. That aside, it's a very fun movie. It's got everything. Got a little bit of romance, comedy, got some drama. Although I do feel like the relationship between La Muerte and Xibalba kind of steals the show from the main couple a bit.
Not entirely. I think they perfectly complement each other. Like, here is an established relationship between these two godly figures who are placing a wager on mortals. Yeah, pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then here they are, like, it's like he's kind of a fool, you know, like, and that's what he admits to her at the end, but she sees the love in people's hearts, which is why her wager of, like, who she chose as her champion of who would win Maria's heart was correct, because she saw their hearts. Yeah. And he only saw a handsome man and an eligible young lady. That's all he saw, you know?
Yeah, and going off of how this was based on the Orpheus myth, and you know, other adaptations of Orpheus, including like Hades Town. They have Hades and Persephone and Orpheus and Eurydice just being foils of each other. Of course,
like, there's the parallel.
No, the end of the Orpheus myth is that you know, Persephone kind of softened Hades up, like, oh, come on, let him have his love. They didn't get to fully live their lives together, and you know, he lets it go, like, but you can't look back until you're out of the underworld. And he had to look back when there were steps within the door, like, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man's just was not prepared.
Yeah, and while that didn't happen here, it did turn out that that Manolo's Eurydice was not actually in the underworld.
She wasn't dead. He's the one who died and had to basically win his life back. Which he proved his courage of heart to Xibalba, like, directly. And, you know, another thing that I really like about it is, like, in that parallel of romance, who does he meet? He meets Xibalba face to face, and he was like, you are a fool and you're a cheater. It's like, how dare you? And he's calling out, yeah. And even Xibalba's like, no one's ever spoken to me like that before, especially not a mortal. It's like, because a mortal wouldn't be stupid enough to do that. And it's just great. It's just great. I love how, and I guess we'll address the comparisons when we get to the movie next week, because we'll have watched these films back to back, but, like, ultimately, as far as this movie is concerned, it's just great, you know? It is one of those love triangles where it's like, do you really feel it an inevitability, you know? And I guess the only reason that you'd feel an inevitability is like, no, like, La Muerte can't lose her realm, it's because she's so kind and, you know, rules the party town, right? But then Zabalba fucks things up. But yeah, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It really is kind of, it is a story about love in both senses. And of course, the story being told by La Muerta herself, you know, just the cherry on top of it, you know? And I really like
I am. I'm tired.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to say before we cut it off?
No, that pretty much summed it up.
But yeah, beautiful story. Thank you all so much for joining us on this very, very romantic adventure. And if you're viewing this after the fact, thank y'all so much for watching. And until next time when we return to Mexico, take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Buenas noches, everyone!
Adios.